This evening. The Lake Oswego law firm of Glazer, Moore, and Peterson has been serving the greater Portland area for more than 30 years. Peter Glazer, active in the community, a native Oregonian, and a past prime minister, has been sponsoring Newsmakers since its inception over 15 years ago. A Newsmakers thank you to our own Peter Glazer. This has been a Royal Rosarian Newsmakers presentation.
There's somebody else who has cake first at dinner, Peter Glazer. Here to present the Glazer Moore and Peterson Newsmaker is KOIN TV reporter and anchor Eileen Park.
It is such an honor to be here. I'm going to also break protocol and pick this up because I'm more used to holding a mic than speaking to it. If you can imagine, inside a newsroom, it's often extremely chaotic. You have producers yelling at you where your story is. You have your assignment desk planning your next breaking news spot. You have viewers emailing, tweeting, Facebooking you that your dress does not look good on TV. You all know what I'm talking about. So it's nearly an impossible feat to grab our attention. We're so busy with a million demands on us that it's practically a miracle to silence a newsroom. But our next newsmaker did just that. She got all of our attention, and you're about to see why. Take a look.
Local businesswoman has provided a funeral for a homeless man who she says really became one of her most cherished friends.
Our Amy Frazier is live in the newsroom with this very unusual story.
Tom Jones was just 51 years old when he died last month, homeless in Aloha. But before he died, he got his dying wish, thanks to a woman who refused to look the other way.
He did end up meaning a lot to me.
Looking out her office window, Sally Fabre noticed a man walking by nearly every day.
One day I just heard, get out there and find out who he is. So my employee actually saw him walk by, and so she ran after him and brought him into the office.
It started simply 4 years ago. She asked his name.
And I said, really? And he goes, no, it really is Tom Jones. And I said, well, so tell me your story. Why are you out here every day, walking? You're obviously homeless.
Tom was surprised. No one had ever asked before.
When the economy tanked, he was a contractor, a laborer, and there was no work. And eventually he lost his apartment, he didn't have work, and he found himself homeless.
From then on,
and at the time, he was living under a tree.
Tom would stop by to visit.
I asked him about family, and that's when he brought up he had a daughter, and the fact that he wanted to find her before he died. That was his dying wish.
So Sally got to work on Facebook, finding and sending a message to his daughter's mom. A year later, she got a message back from Sally's office. Tom eventually got up the courage to call his daughter Ashley in Idaho.
It was pretty emotional.
Tom later took a bus to Idaho to visit his daughter and meet his brand new grandson.
It meant that, I actually have a dad. I have somebody out there.
Still, Tom returned to Oregon, staying in a friend's backyard and visiting with Sally.
I knew I couldn't change him, but I just needed to love him, and we were friends.
On November 10th, Tom passed away at just 51 years old. Still, Sally finds some peace knowing he saw his daughter and shared his story.
I still miss him. Sounds crazy, but I still miss him.
Tom's daughter was unable to cover his funeral costs, so Sally put it on her credit card to make sure Tom had dignity and respect, even in death. There's a GoFundMe page to help with that expense. You can read more and find a link at KOIN.com. Jennifer.
Please join me in welcoming Sally Fabre, KOIN's Newsmaker. I asked Sally if she wanted to say a few words, and she said, absolutely not. So I'm going to do what you didn't want me to do, just put you in the spotlight. I'm going to ask you a question, because the first thing I wanted to know after that was, A, did people contribute to the funeral costs?
Yeah, actually, all of the funeral costs was paid for, $60, even more than what we needed. And it happened the day that it was due. So it was pretty amazing to see people step up from the neighborhood that heard about it, they saw it on TV, and then just some of the local business owners also knew what I had done, and so they also contributed. So the money was raised.
Now, we all see homeless men and women all the time, every day, especially in Portland. You're in Aloha. What about him was so special to you?
Well, it was his mannerisms. He wore a big brimmed hat. You saw the picture of him in the long coat. And I just always saw him, and he was very personable, just very friendly, and we hit it right off from the start. So.
He's only 51 when he passed away.
And that was a shock. I didn't expect that. I hadn't seen him for 2 weeks, and I was asking people about him, and they hadn't seen him. And then the next thing I knew is I received a call at my work on a Sunday. I stopped by, and I had a message from one of the people that knew him that said he had passed, and they were trying to reach his daughter. So I ended up having to call his daughter just 2 years after she finally saw him again, and let her know that he had passed, and then walk her through the whole process of the funeral and just taking care of him. And we still have one more step. I have his ashes in my bedroom. I know it creeps people out, but the plan is this summer to take him out on a boat. He wanted to have his ashes spread out in the ocean. So several of the friends and I, and Ashley's going to come from Idaho, and we're going to put him to rest.
So a few years before he passed away, he was able to reconnect with his only child.
Correct, yes. It was a long, hard process because the shame and guilt he had for not being there for his daughter was pretty painful, and Ashley wasn't the best with him. She was pretty angry. It was a hard thing for her as well, but I think now she knows that she was blessed by just being able to be with him, and for her to see, for him to see his grandson too was just a miracle in itself.
Thank you.
So, as Prime Minister of the Rosarians, congratulate you. You're selected as Newsmaker of the Year.